Okay, we're back. Hello everyone. It's Adrian, and you're welcome or welcome back to the channel where I talk about my unfiltered thoughts and opinions that nobody asked for. If that sounds like something that you're into, like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into today's episode. But before we do that, guess what just happened? I feel fresh, okay? I just took a shower. I took a full shower. I got to cut my nails and clean my toenails. Also, I washed, conditioned, and moisturized my hair, wore some fresh clothes, put on some perfume. Also, one of the socks that I'm wearing right now has a hole in them. They were just fine. I don't know what happened to them. I must have stepped onto something that ripped it. But yeah, that's really unfortunate. But they're gonna have to go because I'm not gonna walk around wearing socks with holes in them, even though it's only one. But nonetheless, they're gonna have to go. Also, I ate. I'm full. I feel good. I'm energized. The vibes are good. The vibes are really good right now. Also, it just happened. Every single time I eat, it only takes me a few minutes or hours even before I get hungry again and want to eat again. But I always eat in like really, really small portions. It happens every single time. Always is something that always happen. But something that and but another thing that always happen is me and you feeling like we're behind. Yes, we're gonna talk about it. Let's get into it. I'm not the kind of person who always feels like they're behind. I'm not the kind of person to like compare myself to other people. When you see other people doing stuff and accomplishing stuff on social media, even though I'm not really the kind of person to be scrolling on social media, more especially Instagram. I'm really like never on there. It's rare. It's not. I'm never really on there. And I'm not the kind of person who tends to like compare themselves to others because again I am who I am. Everybody is whoever they are. I'm living my life, doing my own thing. I don't need to know what everybody else is doing. But sometimes it happens. You scroll on social media and you see somebody being like, I just bought a house at 17, and you're like, dude, you bought a house at 17? Like, man, I really wish that was me. Again, I'm not the kind of person to like compare myself to other people. It rarely happens, but sometimes it does. But even when it does, I'm not the kind of person to like spiral because of this, because I know people who compare themselves to others and they like spiral and spiral and spiral. I am fortunately not one of those people because I'm always just like, well, I guess that's it. That's their life and this is mine. It is what it is. I need to focus on my own. Everyone else has a different reality, and you have to come to somehow accept that because comparing yourself to other people all the time does absolutely nothing for you. But of course, as humans, it's really normal for us to feel that way. It's normal for us to feel like we're behind and our friends are like doing their thing and we're like not doing enough. People are buying houses even though it's not really normal to be buying homes at like in your 20s or your teens or do all this other stuff. That was just an example. But it's just normal. It's normal for us to feel like we're being left behind compared to our friends. It's a normal thing to feel. Also, even as myself, even though I never really compare myself to other people because I'm like, dude, I don't care enough. I don't care to know about what everybody else is doing. All I care about is my life and focusing on that. But sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens again. You get to like see what other people are doing and you start to compare yourself and it gets the best of you, even though with me it happens with strangers, people that I don't even know on the internet. But yeah, it happens sometimes. But something that always gets me through this is thinking that, wait a second, I feel behind, you feel behind. But if we were to ask ourselves, it's like, we feel behind, but behind who? That's something that always like gets me through these tough times. And it's like, Yeah, I feel behind, but behind who? Who is there to feel behind of? You know, is there someone out there who was dealt with the exact same cards in this life as me or you? I don't think so, you know? I don't think there is someone out there who was dealt with this with the exact same cards as you. And what I mean by that is there is no one out there who's from exactly where you are, looks exactly the way that you look, you know, went to the same school that you went to, lives in the same exact city, it comes from the exact same family, and got to have the exact same opportunities as you. And I think this is something that always gets me through this, because I'm like, I feel behind, but like, behind who? Like, who's there to feel behind of, you know? No one, again, no one was dealt with the exact same cards as me. And I'm not even about to say this to like make you feel better about yourself and like stroke your ego, but something that you need to understand is that there is no one out there who's exactly like you. There is no one out there like me, the same way that there is not a single person who's exactly like you. There's nobody who looks exactly like you do, sounds the same, thinks the same way, and has the same mindset that you do, that you have. You know, we're raised by the same parents, come from the same family. You know, has the same opportunities that you or me may have, and all these things. It's like, again, I'm not saying this to make you feel better about yourself and like stroke your ego, but I'm just being honest. There is no one like me or you out there. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, yeah, you can probably go out there and find a guy, a black guy that looks, who's as dark as I am, you know, who's as dark as I am, you know, probably has the same hairstyle as me, dresses the same, but you will never find a guy who looks like me, sounds like me, thinks like me, is from the same family that I'm from, and has the exact same mindset and the exact same opportunities that I do have or may not have. You will never find that dude. He does not exist. I'm the only me in this universe. I'm the only Adrian you will ever see out there. The same way there is the exact same you. There is not an exact person. There's not the exact same person who's out there that you can go out there and like find that is exactly like you. Not a single person. No one. No one is exactly like you. No one is exactly like me. And that you must feel special. Again, I'm not saying this to like make you feel better about yourself, but you must feel special. And that's a good thing. So when we sit with ourselves and we start thinking, oh, but I feel behind, you know, I don't feel like I'm doing enough. Behind who? You know, once you understand that there is no one who's exactly like you know, it does not come from the exact same background as you, does not look exactly like you, doesn't have the same mindset, and doesn't think the exact same way that you do, and does not have the exact same opportunities that you do have. You know, there's only one me and only one you in this entire universe. Once you understand that, you also have to understand that you feel behind. Behind who? You know, and we all have different starting points. You know, if we all have different starting points and come from different backgrounds, how can we even be in like some sort of competition to begin with? How can I feel behind anyone if no one is exactly like me and has the exact same opportunities as me and wasn't dealt with the exact same cards that I was dealt with? It does not make sense at all. General, like, if you were to use your logic and think about that, it does not make sense. You know, how are you gonna feel behind? How are you gonna feel behind if there's no one who has the exact same cards, or this someone who like has the exact starting point that you do have, or the exact starting point that I have? How can I feel behind them? You know, when you're like in a race and you're like doing track running, it's always easy to tell who won and who didn't win and who was a loser, because all of them has like the exact starting point. It's like This is where we're gonna begin from, and we're gonna have to run like a few lapses up to here, and the person that gets to finish first is the winner. Is the person who's like ahead. We don't do that with life. Life does not give us that. Life does not give us this same starting point, and they're like, yeah, we all have the same exact starting point, and the person that gets to reach here and gets to achieve this by this exact age will be ahead. How can you be ahead when we all have different starting points? It does not make sense, and for me that alone is more than enough to make me feel better, because I'm like, I feel behind, but behind who exactly? No one. There's no one who has the exact same opportunities that I do have. You might be sitting there feeling like, oh my god, I feel so behind, I feel so behind. But you know what? Guess what? There is millions and millions of people out there who also feel the exact same way that you feel, who feel behind. You are ahead of millions and millions and millions of people right now, talking about this right now, recording this video. When I'm recording this video, there's people that are behind you or behind me. This exact same way that there are people that are ahead of you or ahead of me, and that whole thing, just it's in our head. It does not exist. It's not real. It's not a real thing, and we can sit here and feel bad about ourselves. But if we were to just like sit with ourselves and think about it and like use our own logic, it's impossible. If you were to use your own logic, it's impossible for you to be behind or ahead of anyone, because we all did not have the same childhoods. We all were not dealt with the same cards, and we all did not have the exact starting point. So no matter what you do, no matter what you think, whether you think you're right or not, it's literally impossible for you to be ahead or behind anyone in life. Life gives different opportunities to every single one of us. We all have different privileges and opportunities. The privileges that I may have might not be the same privileges that you may have. We all have different privileges. We all come from different countries and continents, and families were brought up differently. There are things that I have and opportunities that I have right now that I did not have to do anything to deserve them. Literally, I didn't have anything. I did not go out there and like work my butt off in order for me to get them. I literally just got them. There are privileges that I was kind of like just born into. I did not have to do anything in order for me to deserve that, or in order for me to earn that. The same way that there are things out there that in order for me to get, I had to like work extremely, extremely, extremely freaking hard. Some of them I got to have, and others didn't even get the opportunity to have them, despite the fact that I worked my butt off. And those exact opportunities might be the same thing that you have, and did not have to do anything in order for you to get them. You did not have to work hard in order for you to like acquire them, in order for you to have them. You probably were just born into them, or you got lucky and just got to be, and someone just got to like hand them to you, and that's just how life works. So you can't just sit there and start like feeling bad and feeling sorry for yourself, like, oh, look at me, this is not fair, this person has this, and I don't have that. But do you know that there are also other privileges that you have and other people don't have? Do you think about that? I bet you don't. You only think about the things that you don't have and other people have. You never think about the privileges that you may have. You don't think about maybe the geographical luck that you may have, the places that you were born into, or family, or opportunities. All these things contribute to how far or how ahead we get to be of everyone else. Again, I'm doing like this because it's not really real. There's no way you can be ahead of anyone, because again, we all were dealt with different cards in this life, and life works differently for every single person, you know? There are things that I got to have that I have right now simply because I was just lucky and that was it. And there are things that you have right now because you were lucky. And that's it. That's it. So me being ahead of someone is just, it's not real because there are things that were just easier for me or maybe were just handed to me, or you being ahead of me or anyone else is not real because there are things and opportunities that you had that you have right now simply because you were handed them to you. They just got handed to you, and that's it. And that's literally the only reason, you know. So this thing of feeling like, oh, I'm ahead of X person, I'm behind. It's not real. It's not possible for you to be ahead or behind of anyone. And I think that the more time that we get to spend to like self reflect and ask ourselves, okay, I feel behind right now, but also I have to acknowledge the fact that I also am ahead of millions and ahead of millions and millions of people, because you're probably sitting there and you're like, oh God, I feel behind, you know, I'm not doing more things, you know, I'm not achieving things that I should be achieving right now, but you have like, you live rent free in a house that has water and electricity, and you have access to the internet, you know, the phone that you have is probably expensive, you know, you probably have an iPhone and it's like it's expensive, and you get to do all these things, all these great things, and it's like there are people who do not even have water out there. You know, there are people who are in wars currently, you know, currently speaking. There are kids, they don't have homes, you know, they're all destroyed, they don't have access to water, they don't have food, they don't have access to proper healthcare, they don't have phones, you know, they don't have anything, you know. Do you sit there also and like think about that and think about the fact that you also might be ahead, you know, and also get to like appreciate the things and privileges that you have right now, you know? We don't really get to do that. Most of the time we always think about the fact that, oh, we're behind, we're behind, we're behind, we're not doing enough, we're not doing more of the things that we want to do right now. And guess what? That's okay. That's fine. Not every single person out there is doing what they're doing right now. You're gonna get there. It's fine. It's okay. But we don't get to do that, I guess, self reflection and ask ourselves, oh, I may not have this right now, but also there are people who do not have the things that I have right now. There are people that would kill to be in the position that I'm in right now. And I think with me, that's something that I just really understand on like a deeper level. Because again, I'm one of those people that just like, anytime I feel a certain way, I have to sit there with myself and like force myself to do some kind of like self reflection work and ask myself, well, is this thing that I'm feeling right now real? Like it's okay to feel that way, but you also have to like reason with yourself and like be able to ground yourself and bring yourself back to reality, you know. You can try talking to people about that to like help ground you, but also you can do some self-reflection work on your own and like ask yourself like, is this thing that I'm thinking right now real? Is it okay? Is it fair? But also guess what, life is not fair. It's not right now, it's never been, and it never will, you know. So you might as well have to just like accept things as they are right now, you know. So anytime you start to feel like a certain kind of way, remind yourself of that. Remind yourself of that. It's literally not possible for you to be behind or ahead of anyone. It's not real, you know. Again, you can be on like social media and see all these people doing their own thing, you know, like living their own life. You don't even know how they got it, okay? I'm not even saying this again to like make you feel better about yourself or make you feel like, oh, they probably did bad stuff in order for them to have the life that they have. Maybe not. Yeah, there are people who probably did bad stuff in order for them to get the things that they have right now, but also there are people that didn't do any bad stuff and they just get happen to have that life, and that's absolutely fine, you know. What you should be doing right now is just focusing on yourself, yourself, not what anyone else is doing and blah blah blah. No, that is none of your business. It's none of your business. You shouldn't be wasting all your energy, focusing on what everybody else is doing. What you should be focusing on right now is you. What you want, what you want to do right now, and what can you do in order for you to get there. It might take some time and work, and that's okay. That's fine. But it's just not possible for you to be behind or ahead of anyone, because we were all never dealt, were never given the same cards. We don't all have the same luck or opportunities, and that's just how life is. And you're gonna have to accept that as it is, because it is what it is. What can you do about it? It is what it is. You can't just sit there and complain about the fact that life is unfair. Again, that's just how things are. That's how things will always be. So might as well just focus on yourself and do something about that. And that's just thought that I had in my mind, and something that I wanted to talk about, because oh god, humans, we're so funny. We really can just like ruin our entire day, feeling bad and sorry for ourselves, being like, oh god, this is not fair. Life is not fair. I can't believe this is my life. I don't know what I did to deserve this. I'm so behind. Like, dude, shut up. Behind who? Who are you behind of? It's literally not real. It's all made up. It's not a real thing. You know, I don't know. I'm laughing right now, but really, it's like it's not real. You can't be behind or ahead of anyone. It's not a real thing. But we humans can just be so dramatic sometimes, and just being like, oh god, look at me, life is so unfair. And it's like, dude, shut up. You also have so many opportunities and privileges that other people would kill to have. How about you start focusing on that? So yeah, that's just the thought that I had in mind, and something that I just wanted to share and talk about. And anytime I start to get in my feels and being like, oh, I feel so behind, I always remind myself of this fact, like, behind who? It's not real. It does not really exist. It's not a real thing. So yeah, it's just a thing that I thought that I wanted to share with you guys, and let me know what you think of this, and what you personally do to like ground yourself and like bring yourself back to reality. And anytime you start to feel a certain way and start to feel like you're not doing enough, or you're like behind or ahead, and like your ego gets the best of you, and you start to think and feel like you're better than everyone, let me know what you guys do to like ground yourself. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say for today's episode. Like and subscribe, I guess, if you can relate or got to have to like get any value from this. So yeah, that's all I have to say for today's episode. I love you. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.